Alright everybody, we are jumping back into Standard with Mardu, Death in Texas. This is actually the third game with this deck. You might recall that... Oh... Freelance is good though. I'm going to keep it. Might not be fast enough, but I'm going to keep it. You might recall in the first game that I played, I beat a deck that I don't really know what was going on with it. It was Gideon, and a cast out was pretty much the only thing we saw that deck do. We beat him game 1, he scooped up and just quit. Game 2, round 2, I should say. I came up against a deck playing white-black, mid-range controls thing with Kalidas, and never-ending removal. I'm not even like being remotely exaggeratory. Like, I had Sorin, who was basically removal on a stick. Fatal Pushes, Grasps of Darkness, the Never to Return card. What else? Declaration in Stone. Like that's just a hint of what I saw. And I scooped up game 1 at quite late on because he'd got Kalidas down. He'd created a bunch of zombies. I tried to deck in Stone the zombies, but he just sacrificed them to Kalidas. That was it was bonkers. So I called it a day and let it go as a loss. And then while sideboarding, he left the game and I won because he left the game. And that's not entertaining for you guys to watch. So I didn't bother to keep that or upload it. We'll just call this game 2. So far he's playing at least Naya. Red, white, and green. He's going to play an Always Watching, so I'm assuming Naya Exert. He might play Naya Stompy, you never know. But he plays down the Always Watching, loses 2 life, I gain 2 life because it's a non-creature spell. Then we go to my turn. What do we get? Gideon's Intervention. Well, that's gonna be useful. No idea what he's actually doing, so I can't do much about it right now. But it might be useful once we get an idea of what he's playing. Let's run out Thalia. It seems like all his non-basic lands come in tapped regardless, but having his creatures come in tapped would be useful, given that he's playing the Always Watching, so we've got to assume he's playing a relatively creature-heavy deck, because no one plays Always Watching without creatures. Like, there'd be no point to it. So we'll have his creatures come in tapped so they can't block the backswing, and hope that's enough to get us the win in this game 1, which we're now on turn 4, well, his turn 4, and really not much is happening. I've got 2 free drops on the field, which kind of shows how slow this has been when I haven't seen... Oh, Champion of Ronus! Alright, that's saying he's going to plan to exert with the Always Watching turn and turn again, time and time again. Okay, that's interesting. We're going to have to wait and see what he tries to play, well, what he tries to put into play from the Champion of Ronus. Or we could just deck and stone it while it's tapped down, and that way he doesn't get to use it at all. Which, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to deck and stone the Champion of Ronus. Make sure that thing doesn't get to cheat anything out, because that could be ugly. It's not as ugly as someone casting an Ulamog off an Aetherworks Marvel, but still, in putting an Ulamog into play on turn 4 is still pretty gross. Well, turn 5 it would be, really. But anyway, that's besides the point. I think I wouldn't mind Aetherworks Marvel quite as much if it just said, put it into play, or you may play that card. Because Like, Ulamog, like, having a 10-10 body on the field turn 4 is gross enough, but then having the added bonus of exiling 2 of their permanents, which at turn 4, like, depending on how the game is gone, could just be taking 2 lands out their pocket. Ah, was he planning on cheating out Ronus, or was he... Okay. And he scoops it up. Alright, we got there. Thalia Hereticify, getting the job done. Making sure all his stuff comes in tapped. He can't block on the backswing. We saw in Always Watching a couple of big creatures. We know he's playing big creatures. And ideally he's probably looking to play Bloodlust and then haste his creatures. So, what do we want? Actually, I think we're pretty good with what we've got. I think we're going to go down Haven Mind Center. Don't think he's going to be searching his library. And I'd much rather be able to put in more removal in the form of Anguish I'm making. So that I can... Exile is Always Watching. I can get rid of Aronas. Exile is such a good thing to have in these sort of matchups, where someone's playing something that's indestructible and you know they are. Gideon's Intervention in the opening hand, along with 2 lands, a Cast Out, a Night Market Lookout. There is 1 card in our hand that we can cast on 2 mana, which we can't cast on turn 1. But we are in the draw. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to risk it. I'm feeling lucky. Plus we're a game to the good. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Okay. We'll play a tapped Foreboding Ruins. And pass the turn back. We knew we couldn't really do anything on turn 1 anyway. So we might as well not be that upset with the draw being another black card. We're going to have all 3 colors of mana in the 2 lands. So that's nice. What's he going to do? What's he going to do when they come for you? He's not gonna do anything? He must not have that Bloodlust in hand, because if he had the Bloodlust, he'd have cast it turn 1. So that's nice to know that nothing's gonna come down with haste at any rate. I guess we play out a Night Market Lookout, because that's all we can do. And we'll pass the turn back. This is a deck I can appreciate. This is a deck that took some brewing or something to build. Burn from Within for 1. That... Ooh. Ow. Spending 2 mana to do 1 damage to a 1-drop. That's not where you want to be. Burn from Within is it's an alright card, but it's a late game card that you use when you're playing an aggro deck. You've got them down to like 4 health. Their deck is kicked in. You can't do anything to stop to get in for that remaining 4 damage. So you just burn from within to the face, take off that remaining life. Always Watching. Now what we want is to find a 3rd land and then a 4th land. Ugh. 7 cards in hand. That's not good. This is the downside of running 20 lands in a deck that's got a lot of 3s and 4-drops. Oh dear. Deary, deary me. Alright, so he's gonna get to drop his Ronus this turn. We're not gonna be able to do anything. Or Champion of Ronus. Possibly? Probably? Maybe? Who knows? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do when they come for you? 4 for Hazaret. Okay. Naya Gods appears to be the way the wind is blowing. Okay, we got a card we can do something with. Let's cast it, if only because we don't want to have to discard anything, because everything in our hand is pretty good. So let's cast it. Get him for another 2. Unless he's got a shock in his hand, at which point we only get him for 1. But I would think he would have shocked before before I moved to attack, so that it didn't tap. But no responses. He takes the 2. We pass the turn. He can now stand that Needle Spires up, which he could have done last turn, but he was busy doing stuff. Okay. Doing something else, cracking a clue. Alright. Really do a 3rd land right now. Well, that's not cool. At this point, he's gonna start doing stuff. He's going to start drawing cards with Watchful Naga every turn. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass the turn. I'm going to have to move to clean up, to discard. I'm not going to attack because that would just be stupid. Swing my Night Marker Lookout into his Naga. I've got nothing to gain from doing that. I think we discard Kambal because he's mostly he seems to be running creatures, so non-creature spells are going to be fairly rare. So he's going to swing in with both. Exert so that Night Marker Lookout can't block. Watchful Naga gives him a card. We're always watching, make sure that he can use them turn in, turn out. Naya Exert, that's what his deck is. I mean, I appreciate it. I really do. I like this. It's a little bit spicy. And, it's not something that you see very often. It's not something that everyone's playing. I like the fact that this guy has built something a bit weird. And yeah, we're gonna concede game 2, go to game 3, hope we get more than 2 lands and don't draw everything in this section. With that in mind, I think, ooh, Topplegeist. That way when he exerts something, he can't. I can tap it down. It still won't untap because it's exerted. Let's see what else do we want to do. Kambal's not doing us much good. Let's drop Kambal, 2 Kambals at least. Bring in Authority of the Consoles. He's playing a very creature-heavy deck. Let's do that. What else can we do? Trying to lower my curve here so I don't end up in a situation like last game. I'm going to go down the remaining 2 Kambals. I'm going to bring in, not even Mind Sensor, I'm going to bring in the 4th deck in stone. And Shock. You know what, I'm going to go down another cast out, bring in another Shock. Because we've got the 2 Anguish Makings. So we're now running more removal than we were originally. We're running 8 pieces of removal as opposed to 6. With a lower curve on the removal. So we're going to play first. 3 lands, that's good. We'll keep it. Why do I keep getting Gideon's Intervention in the opening hand? That is a question. Like, it's not... I'm not even playing 4 of them. Like, there's cards in this deck that I would love to have, like, more, like, in every opening hand. And I just don't get them. Case in point, Night Market Lookout would be a super good card to have in my opening hand. Every single time. Because I'm almost guaranteed to get 2 damage in on turn 2. And gain a life. Almost guaranteed. Not actually guaranteed, but close enough. Inspiring Vantage. Doesn't have a 1-drop, no Bloodlust. passes the turn back to me. Alright, so we're going to play the Needle Spires because it's going to come in tap no matter what we do. So we're going to play that now because we don't have any 2-drops. We're going to attack with the Fraven. Get in for 1. Then when we untap, we'll play the Plains. Play Thalia so that all his creatures come in tapped. He'll probably kill the Thalia, but I'm not that concerned about it. Then we can play Drana. Ooh, okay. We got a 4th land, and it's a nice one that we can get in untapped if we play it right now. So let's play it right now. Thalia, get in for 1. Now what we can do, it's a bit of a, it's gonna feel really bad to do it to him, but it shuts down his whole deck. Next turn, play the Plains, Gideon's Intervention, Always Watching. He can't cast Always Watching. Of course, he might cast it right now. He's got 3 mana, he can do it. But it will be, he doesn't do it. He takes the turn to kill Thalia. Oh, if he's got the Always Watching in hand, he is going to regret doing that. Because Gideon's Intervention means that he cannot cast Always Watching. Which, that's... Like, if he's playing, Naya exert, so he needs Always Watching so that he's not having to leave his creatures tapped for, like, so that he can do it every turn rather than doing it every other turn. When going in with Gideon's Intervention, he can't do anything about it. We're gonna name Always Watching, which feels like a bit of a dick move, but it's kind of the reason why the card is here. And it seems to shut down his deck. Or at least, like, it doesn't shut down his deck, but it makes things so much more difficult for him to do. We'll get in with the Fraven for another 1. Then, what are we going to do next turn? Because he's got a lot of... Oh, he just scoops it up! The Always Watching, he can't cast it. He, obviously, I don't know why exactly... He scoops it up, but he scoops it up, and Mardu, Death and Taxes, is 2-0. Woof! Go deck!